Look at this. Look at this. You don't need to go buy mulch, okay? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Playing in Dirt. My name is Fleur. I am a small space container gardener in Zone 8. We're going to be talking about mulching because now that we are in the fall, it is important to mulch your plants. It helps to protect the plants from any extreme temperatures. If the weather gets too cold, the mulching does help with insulating the soil and protecting the roots. Not only that, it helps to retain moisture. It's also good to mulch in the summertime. I've been gardening for a year now and I've never mulched before, but this is something that I want to start incorporating in my routine. Over time, I do learn, I grow in my gardening journey, and I want to do what's right. I want to make sure that I'm protecting the plants as much as I can. This is something that you just learn to do, and this is what I'm learning. So I'm going to show you guys free things that you can use for mulching. Initially, I thought that I have to go out and buy mulch. I was looking online, I was looking at Amazon for straw mulches, because that's what I see in a lot of gardening channels. I see a lot of gardeners using straw and they would purchase the straw. So I started doing research online, looking at Amazon. And then I noticed that you can mulch with leaves. You can mulch with pine needles. I have pine trees on the side of my house. Rather than going online to buy mulch, I can just use the natural resources that I already have. And that is what I'm going to show you in this video, just free ways that you can mulch your plants. You don't have to go out and buy mulch. I did start mulching my plants, but I haven't mulched all of the containers. The mulch is around just the base of the plant, but it's not covering the entire container. And that's because I ran out of pine needles, so I have to wait until I get more pine needles from the tree. They just drop down on the ground and I just scoop them up, I cut them up, and then I add them to my containers. So that is one of the ways that I'm mulching my plants, is by using pine needles. The other way is using leaves, y'all. Okay, now I got a few bags of leaves from my brother's house. It's a wooded area in back of his house. He saved up a lot of leaves in a big trash bin, and I just go and collect leaves from his place. So if you guys are near surrounding trees, this is perfect material for mulch. So you'll notice on my containers, like I said, there are patches that I still need to get. And by the way, just a gardening hack, I did drop some beet seeds in this container. I dropped about 9 beet seeds, and to know where they are, I add toothpicks. Whenever you drop seeds, you want to keep it moist until it germinates. I need to know where I drop my seeds so I know where to water. So that's a gardening hack for you guys. But I will need to patch this area. This is the pine needles that I'm talking about. And I did start covering the containers with pine needles, but there are some spots that I missed. As you can see, most of my containers have the pine needles. I do need to cover this. This is beans. By the way, this is fava beans, so it will definitely need to be covered. But as you can see over here, all of this, y'all, is from pine needles. And I got this from the floor. The floor. You don't need to go out and buy mulch and buy this and buy. Use the resources that you already have around you. So I'm going to need to fill up these containers. We're going to fill this up. And I also need to cover this container. This is another great material to add to your compost, because over time, when everything breaks down, it does turn into soil. When you add the other scraps, like your food scraps, and you add your leaves, it does break down and turn into soil. So that is mainly what I'm going to be using the leaves for, just for my compost, because I do have a lot of pine needles already around my house. But again, this is a great material to use to mulch your containers. All right, y'all. So this is what I do. Look at my shadow. Hi, y'all. So this is what I do. I take my hand shovel. I got this from Dollar Tree. And then I just go around my yard and just scoop up all of the pine needles. And I'm going to show you guys just how much pine needles I can get. And this is all free mulch. And I do have some leaves as well, but I have pine trees. Look at this, y'all. Look at this already. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I do. I hope you guys can see me. I should be wearing my hat, but let's go around and just rake up some of the pine needles that are on the ground. This is all from my little backyard, y'all. I live in a townhome community, so this section right here is not really my backyard. It's my neighbor's yard, but this is what I do, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. You don't need to go buy mulch, okay? This is your mulch right there. And it's one of the best mulch that you can use for garden. Pine needles are really great to use as mulching. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and cut them up. And the reason why I do that is because if I just add them like that on top of my container, I notice that when it gets windy, they just fly all over the place. But when you cut them into smaller pieces, that helps them to stay in the container. So make sure that you are cutting them up. I was literally going to buy some mulch. There's so many benefits to using pine needles. Now that I am getting in the habit of mulching my plants, when I get ready to prepare my container for new plants, we're just gonna push the mulch to the side, amend the soil, plant your plants, whether it's seedlings or if you're dropping seeds, and then add the mulch back on top of the soil. I am going to get in the habit of doing that. This is especially great for in the summertime, so you're not having to water as much. This past summer, I was watering practically every day, sometimes twice a day, y'all, especially in grow bags when the water evaporates more quickly. But when you're mulching your containers, when you're mulching your garden, you won't have to do that as much because that's what's going to help to retain the moisture. And I like the fact that this kind of mulch, like pine needles, they're very light. When you water it, it's not going to create that heavy covering. I hope that makes sense. I like that it's still breathable. But this is what I've been doing, y'all. Free. I don't have to go out and buy anything. Now you see how much free mulch I was able to get. All right, y'all, so let's go around the garden and finish patch up these containers. This is how I just spread it around my plants. Now, the thing with beans is that the soil has to be consistently moist. Even though we're in the fall, I find myself having to water them every day. You know, we're in November right now, and I'm still watering mostly every day because, yeah, the temperature is still warm. Not warm because we were in the 20s the other day. Hopefully, this is gonna help with that. That's basically what I do, y'all. This is basically what I do. And then when you water it in, that's gonna help to keep it in place. Go ahead and finish. Whoops. Let's go ahead and finish patch this up. Yeah, I don't even know if this is going to make it. It's growing, but the stem is broken a little bit. So it's not completely broken, but it is broken. So I don't know. Like I'm glad to see that it's growing, and I'm just gonna trust that it's gonna be fine. These are the plants that I started outside, and yeah, they're very, very, very small. And then we're gonna finish up this bed. Look at this. Free mulch, y'all. Free mulch. Free mulch. Just pick up what's on the ground, the leaves that are on the ground, and use them as mulch. There you go. This one could use a little bit. Go ahead and cover this one. I'm gonna give my garlic plant just another top dress. But do you see how it stays in place? When you water it, it does stay in place. It doesn't go anywhere, y'all. Now for this container, I'm gonna wait until my beets germinate because I don't want all that heavy mulch to be on top of it, and then, you know, they can't make their way up from underneath the soil. So let's wait until they germinate first. And then once they get a couple inches tall, that's when I'll mulch around them. And that is it, y'all. I hope you found this video helpful. I do have a guide that's on my website. You can check it out. I'm going to be linking it in the description below, but it tells you exactly what you need to be planting every single month based on your zone. It tells you what you can start indoors and what you can direct sow. It is perfect if you are new to gardening, if you want to maximize your gardening space. That way you are growing more food. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to be linking it in the description. But I really do hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one.